Okay. Hi guys, my name is Delilah Summer, and I'm here to talk about my debut book, Modern Day Bruiden Bláth, right? So, as my first YouTube video, I've decided to just do my author kit questions here. So we're just going to run through all 14 to 17 questions. Might group some together for the sake of time, and just see how it goes. All right, our first question is not really a question. It's give us a description of your book, Modern Day Bruiden Bláth. So the book is about this guy, Felix. He is a changeling, relatively a scientist, very, very loose definition of the word. He's in this underground city called Larbaek, and in the first scene, he leaves the city. He literally runs away, and he gets a house outside of the human town. So the whole book is him trying to figure out what human society is, how he takes place within it, and also who he is by having human relationships, right? He has friendships, there is tension, hopefully, and it's meant to be a fun book. It's not meant to be anything serious. It's just get out of a slump with something nice. Okay, and then to follow up with that is question 2. Right, question 2. Why did you write Modern Day Bruiden Bláth? So I came up with the idea of Felix when I was in my freshman year of high school, and he didn't leave me alone. So the first real thing I wrote, completed first draft, was the first draft of this book, right? And it was under a different name at the time. And then this is third, fourth draft. But as time went on, it became this, right? I'm hitting it off screen, of course. So he started out as part of a trilogy. So I wrote the trilogy first, and it felt really nice. And I was like, this guy needs some backstory because he's too freaking weird to be doing all this. And this is part of his backstory. Yay. I really keep doing that. So I've talked about this question before. Hopefully it's more coherent and cohesive. Question number 3 is Modern Day Bruiden Bláth has characters that specialize in dance. What about that specialty interests me? So growing up, I used to do ballet. I wasn't good. I talked about that a lot. But I like dance. I like seeing dance. I like kind of understanding the aspects that people don't see because they just flat out don't know about it. If I'm talking about shoes and I'm talking about the part by the toe and I say oh, the box of the shoe, if you know, and you're like, why are you talking about that? Those are your boots. But it's like that. And so kind of making Felix and a lot of other main characters do dance, it's kind of paying respect to that. I should have given more time, and now I'm making these characters do it to kind of not pay for my sins, but kind of just get that aspect back, to show that I was there, even though I wasn't good. Completely different vibe. But question number 4 is this book part of a series? The short answer is yes, sadly. So this is book 1 of the Mountain arc. It's book 1 of the entire series, right? And I've talked about this part before, but there's going to be the Mountain arc. The trilogy is the Cave arc, where everyone's having fun. Is going to be the Garden arc, and then finally the book that I really don't like is going to be Furnace, right? The Furnace arc. And this is all related to Northrop Frye's variations that are found in Words with Power. Highly recommend reading it. And it's going to be, I like it. I made it. I'm biased, but I recommend it. I think this was the last author question that I went over on my other page, and it's question 5. What would you describe your writing style as? Okay, now I am entering my final semester of college. I'm graduating in May. I don't have a lot of time. Like, I'm taking 6 classes now, and it's not a lot except for when it is, right? It's doable except for when there's assignments, and then all of a sudden, like, everything's happening. So my writing style is I write whenever I can write, and then when I can't, I make time. Like, I do my assignments, I get them in before needed, and I write. Later on, what the fuck? Question 13 is, how do you deal with the pressure of meeting deadlines? Question 14 is, do you have a daily word page count you like to hit? All my deadlines are made up. I am self-published. I have no agent. I'm doing the best I can. And because of that, I'm kind of just going at my own pace, which is not good, because I make deadlines and then I'm like, if I don't hit this deadline, everything is going to be over. So it's not good. And then the daily word page count is I do the best I can. Sometimes I'll be like, you can't go to bed until you write 10,000 words. And it's like, fuck you, man. But then I'm like 2 weeks ahead of the deadline that I made up for myself. So then I move up that deadline, and it's just a continuous cycle. But that was 3 questions right there. Yay! Question number 6 is, why did you choose Iceland as the main setting? Can you tell us about main locations? So this is part of me coming up with everything in high school. I'm from New Jersey. It was originally set in Jersey, right? And so it wasn't flowing. So I asked my friends, like, hey, I need to change the location. Please give me some cool locations I could change my work to. Let's see if the characters like it more, right? And then my friend, my very close friend, said, oh, you should make it be in Iceland. They have no mosquitoes. And it's like, there's other stuff going on there too, but okay. And it stuck, right? Part of the book, well, most of the book, most of the culture of the book is about Celtic mythology. Very loosely, very ingrained, right? So it is not set in Ireland. They're never going to go to Ireland. They're from Wales. They'll go to Wales later, like books later. But for now, they're in Iceland, right? And so we're getting that mythical Celtic kind of aspect, and then we're crossing it with just like what's going on in Iceland. So I don't want to say it's like Celts versus Vikings, because Iceland is more than Vikings, and we barely talk about Vikings at all. But we're going to talk about it later, right? But I think it's very interesting because, like, we're going to talk about names later, but there is this guy, and he's named after a frost giant, and that is weird, and everyone acknowledges it as being weird because they all have these very like Celtic names. Like, there's Peter and Felix. So are also Icelandic names because they're Christian names, like from Christianity. But you have like other guys, and I can't remember a single one right now. Good job. I don't like this question. Question 7 is, the idea of bolting is strong in your book. What about the idea moved you? So the main character, Felix, he runs from his problems a lot, physically and metaphorically, right? And so there is, the characters run from all their problems. That's what they do. They either run physically or they run mentally. And depending on who they are, like, it's part of like a character quiz. The idea moved me because it's literally about moving, But I think it's very interesting that it's like the the fight and flight response, right? Because you can flight, that's running physically, or you have the freeze, or it's like you're running in your mind, or you're like, good job. It's just, I think it's interesting. Okay, question number 8 is, what was the most challenging part of writing this book? I'm in college. That's the most challenging part. So those are my external factors. There's course load of my degree. Like if anything's happening with my family and I need to like help out with that, that's a thing. Outside factors, right? With the book, it's I start out by writing different scenes, seeing how I like the characters and stuff, and then I come up with a rough draft. No, I come up with a timeline, and then I come up with the rough draft, right? The problem is making sure that I haven't said what I've already said. No, that I haven't said what I want to say. So like, I can't use the same paragraph that I used on page 96 for page 280, because that's boring. That's a mental issue, and I can't really fix that without more work, without practicing. Question number 9 is, what material inspired me? Now, on my other page, I went into this. I'm going to be very, very brief. I have posters around to kind of like give me hope. Okay, so vibe-wise, I wanted it to be like from Moomin 1990. Okay, I wanted a nice whimsical feel. I wanted the friends who would do anything for each other but would tease, like playing around, kind of. I just wanted them to have a good time. That's it. That's the vibes for this arc. I have a lot of Young Justice posters over there. My favorite character is Bart Allen, Impulse. Like, that's my guy. I know him very, very surface level wise. Like, don't come at me. And just, they're also a team of friends, kind of together. I like found family. I don't know if anyone can notice. And then underneath that, I have my other comfort media, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, 4 brothers kind of working together to protect people who don't really want them around, like especially depending on which iteration you're talking about, but just like not being human and still having to protect the humans, like that kind of aspect. Yeah. I have a lot of other different material that inspired me, but those are definitely the main 3, just kind of circling around each other to make my book. Yeah. Okay, this was the first question I answered on my other page. Question 10. How did you come up with the title? What was the inspiration behind the name? So let me pick it up again. This is my cover. I made it myself. So the title is Modern Day Bruiden Bláth. And that's the Bruiden. So I'll keep holding it. Modern day is the fact that it's like this time period. For calendar reasons, the year is 2040. Now, this year is 2038. The year the trilogy starts is 2040. That's because I wanted a leap year that started on Sunday. So that's why it is. That's why it's modern day. Bruiden. Hostile, Bláth, flower. As far as I know, I'm using the Ulster dialect for Old Irish, right? This is Old Irish. And then I like Celtic mythology, so like the destruction of the Durga's hostel, the Durga's Bruiden, that, and then Bláth is just flower, and I thought it was cool. So yeah, that's all it is. Question 11 is, what's your favorite passage? Why? I have like I have two favorite passages. One of them additional, I think it's just really funny, and then my favorite line. So I love the Halloween scene. I love costume parties, right? I just think they're so much fun. When they leave the party, that's when I kind of like clock out, but for the party itself, love that, right? The other one I really like is when Ciel and Felix play Fitchel, and it's just like Felix is trying, and like he wins the first round, right? And so he's trying to keep up now, and he's not able to. And it's supposed to be like, he's supposed to be the prodigy, he's supposed to be good at everything he does. And then this is the first time we've seen him actually do something that is connected to Celtic mythology, and he's unable to do it, right? He knows what it is, but he doesn't really know how to play. And then Ciel lets him win, basically. We don't say that, but it's clear. And then Ciel just annihilates him. Like, that's my boy right there. And then he just... It makes sense with Celtic mythology, and I really like that. And then just overall, I really like the dance scenes, like the showcase. Oh my god, I love the showcase scene. I like in the first book in the trilogy, they're going to go busking, and it's going to be great. Like Felix and Hugo dancing, like in this book, it's fun. And then like in the next book, the one I'm writing now, Wager, Felix and Sol, like they're going to host a Halloween party, and then they're going to dance there, and it's going to be amazing. So I like that. And then my favorite line, I don't remember the exact wording, but it's at the end of the book where Felix is just thinking about stuff and about how people like betray and they lie, that kind of stuff. And then he says that there should be someone who deals with bargain betrayers. I'm spoiling my own book, but that's literally what happens in the book I'm writing right now. It is about people who deal with like making bargains, and then who have to deal with people who break their bargains. And it's going to be great. And like Felix is going to be like real close with those guys. Love it. We're nearing the end. Question number 12 is, were there always clear references to Celtic mythology? The answer is no way. The first version barely had any mythological references. I think I did a few Norse mythological references, and that was like it. And then I took my Celtic mythology class, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Felix would do that. That's why this happens, because like we're getting that cycle again. And so I just think that's really interesting that as time grew on, I realized stuff to make the writing better, like to make the content better. Okay, and these are 2 additional questions. So this would be question 13. Why are the characters named the way they are? So we have kind of different classes, I guess. So 2 of Felix's older brothers, Ymir and Emil. Those are very Icelandic names, right? We have them. We have Dogon. We have the teachers, the parents. Well, we only get one parent. We get Sigrun, right? But they are very traditional. Well, not so much traditional Icelandic names, but they are very they're Nordic, right? Hakon, right? So we have that class. And then on a technicality, Felix and Peter fit into that class because of Christianity, right? We have names like Arthmil, and that's like, he fucking sucks. I take that back. We don't have that class. we have our, we have the Icelandic names and we have the other names, 2 classes. So the other names include Tyler, CL. That's it for now. We're going to get more, like, in technicality, also Felix and Peter, because they're not, like, Christianity, right? So Tyler is American, CL is French. They both both immigrated with their families to Iceland, which is why their names are different. Felix also has 2 different last names. He has one that is more traditionally Celtic and one that follows the Icelandic naming conventions. So both of them state that he is the son of Levin. So in Icelandic naming conventions, it would be Levin son, like Levin's son. And then in Irish or Old Irish, it's Mac Levin, son of Levin. So that's it. And my favorite character, question 15. Who is my favorite character and why? Is CL. He doesn't get a lot of content here, but I really like him. And he sucks so much. But he is an interesting little guy. And as time progresses and he gets more screen time, I hope that the general public sees what I see in him. Well, that concludes my author press kit. If you are still here, thank you for watching. I hope that you're able to get a better sense of things that I like or at least talked about in my book. And if you needed help getting questions and wanted to see how people responded to them, I hope that works for you too. Thank you for watching and have a good time.